And I got way too many feels, way too much emotion. I don't even know what's real. I don't need to get along with your best friend, even better with your family.
What's up, friends, and welcome to today's video. So today we are going to do a mindset mukbang, but your girl just had poke and just came home, and I'm like, I've been wanting to film this video for a while, so we're just gonna leave out the mukbang part of it because we all know how that went last time anyways. But I want to talk today about what it means to be clairvoyant. I recently discovered that I am clairvoyant, but I've known about this like my whole life. I just didn't know there was like a word for it. So I'm going to put the definition of clairvoyance on the screen now, but it says the supposed faculty of perceiving things or events in the future or beyond normal sensory contact. So this is gonna sound weird if you've never experienced it. It might sound like it's not a real thing if you or nobody you know has experienced it, but I am going to open up with an absolute banger of a clairvoyant story that happened last November, and that is what made me realize that, hey, this is a thing. And then I'll tell you some stories after that from times throughout my life and since then where I have like had premonitions or I've like seen the future. So the absolute banger of a story is going to start here. I was home last November for Thanksgiving, and I was visiting one of my very best friends. She's like my best friend since like 4th grade. I was visiting her, and she has 2 little boys, and her husband was still at work. So we're chatting, it's like late afternoon, waiting for him to get home from work. The boys are playing, they're kind of like showing off, running around, whatever. They're getting kind of cranky. And one of them like ran in his room and just like threw himself on the floor. And I thought it was so weird that my friend was not like getting up to go make sure that he was okay. Like I just had like the most vivid image of like he got seriously hurt and he was like bleeding everywhere, and like she freaked out and like went into shock, and like this is all in my mind. This has not happened yet. I just see this and I'm like, oh my God, like I don't even know what I would do if something crazy like that happened, because her husband wasn't home, right? And I was like, how would I help her? But then I just dismissed it. I was like, oh, I guess she like knows that he's okay, because she would like feel like mama vibes if he wasn't okay, right? So I didn't say anything, and he came out and he was fine. And I was like, huh, well, that was really weird. And so then we just keep hanging out, we're talking. Finally her husband comes home, and her other son is starting to act up. He's getting in trouble, whatever. And he takes off running from the living room, and I suddenly hear glass like shatter everywhere, and I was like, oh God. Like in that moment, like I knew, but I obviously had not said anything. I still haven't even told her this story to this day, so if you're watching this, I'm not gonna say her name, but you know now. But I hear glass shatter, and both my friend and her husband were like, well, good job, like what'd you do now, buddy? And we can't see him. We can't see her son from where we're sitting. So her husband gets up and walks in the other room where he like ran away, and he literally goes, he's bleeding bad. And I was like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. And he like picks the kid up and comes around the corner, and this kid just has blood everywhere. Like everywhere. And then it plays out just like I saw it. Like my friend goes into shock. She starts screaming. She starts crying. She's like running in circles. She's like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I'm like, you take care of that. I'm gonna get her other son ready to go, because I knew they were gonna go to the hospital. And so I like get his shoes on, and I'm asking my friend, I'm like, hey, what do you want me to grab? Like towels, dish rags, shoes, like what all do you guys need? And she's telling me like across the kitchen where stuff is. And I'm walking through the kitchen, and I have to like be careful of where I'm walking because there's blood everywhere. So they end up going to the hospital, and I was shook up, dude. Like not only from like what happened, but because I knew that that was gonna happen. I knew it. And I was like, this is so weird. Like I am freaked out by myself, and I just don't even know. So I started telling a couple people about it, and my personal development coach was like, yeah, not to like undermine what happened, but have you tried Googling that? And I'm like, what? Like, what would I Google? Like, ooh, I see the future. And he sent me this link, and it was like, you know, signs that you are clairvoyant. And there are different like forms of it. Like some people like see stuff, some people like hear stuff. And my whole life, I will, like, that happens. And that's the most extreme one. And that's why I wanted to open up with that one, because there's no denying that, like, this is a real thing. Not only because of that extreme of a story, but also because of all the stories I'm about to tell you. My whole life, like, my dreams come true all the time, or like a thought will cross my mind and it happens. And now I'm like, I'm not even surprised by it anymore. But the thing is, I don't know when stuff is like actually gonna happen. You know, like sometimes I'll dream stuff and it doesn't come true, right? Because it's just like something I really, really want. And so I'm like focused on it in my subconscious. But a lot of times I'll dream shit that's like random and it comes true. So I want to tell you a few other stories. So the earliest one I can remember is I was like in middle school and I had this dream that I was skydiving over the desert, okay? And for some reason my freaking parachute malfunctioned and I like just hit the ground, like no parachute, nothing. Obviously I should have died, but in my dream I like did not break a single bone. I was fine, like I survived it. I like made the news and stuff. The next morning I get up. My mom always used to have Good Morning America on the TV. I look at Good Morning America and there was a news story that this guy was skydiving over the desert. It was like in Arizona or something, like that part of the country. Parachute malfunction. He should have like died, should have at least broken a bunch of bones. Fine. Walked away unscathed and he was totally fine. And here's the real kicker. It showed like footage of what the place looked like the desert. And it was exactly what I saw in my dream. And I, like, if you are a skeptic, you're gonna think I'm making this shit up. But I swear to you, I am not. And I'm just like, that's really weird. Like back when that happened, I'm like, huh, that's really weird. And that reminds me of another dream that I had in college. I dreamed that I was like in this like grassy area, like on a hike, but it was like up. Like you could like, there was like a view and there was like this little like grassy meadow, just like vivid green grass, like so vivid and just so like earthy and naturey. And then my senior year, I went to Arkansas to go hiking. And my boyfriend at the time and I were on our own little hike and we get to this spot and I was like, bro, I have been here before. And he was like so dismissive of it. Like, I don't think he was trying to be, but he was just like, yeah, okay. And I was like, no. I was like looking around. I was like, I have seen this shit. This grass. This freaking grass. And he was probably like, that's probably why he broke up with me, honestly. But no, I just was like, okay. So there's a couple of those things that, like dreams that it reminded me of. Let's see here. The most recent one happened like last week. So I woke up in the middle of the night to like go pee or whatever. And then I was awake for like an hour. And I was just laying there thinking about like life. And then for some reason I could not stop thinking about Doritos. Like I was like, oh man, like I used to eat Doritos all the time when I was little. Like Cool Ranch, ooh, so good. But like nacho cheese is pretty good too. And I was just like, why am I thinking about Doritos? So whatever, I go back to sleep. The next morning, I am on my walk for the morning around the block. I see a fucking Doritos truck drive by and I was like, I literally laughed out loud. I was like, this is actually hilarious now. So that is the most recent one. A lot of times I will be in the car and the radio is on, right, and the commercials are on, and I'll like think of a song. Like I won't even intentionally try to like guess what song is next, right? Like a song will just come into my mind and then it'll be the next song on the radio, like they'll play it right there. That happens all the time. Another thing is like texts. I can tell when someone is about to text me, like they'll cross my mind and then I'll receive a text message. Like it could be friends, family, whatever. That's always been a thing. Like I always know when people are gonna text me. So, you know, there's that. But a very recent story that goes kind of in line with this is, I had an ex text me last week. I have not talked to this kid since summer of 2016. Not talked to him since. Have had no reason to think about him whatsoever. But I was driving, or no, it was earlier in the day last week, and he like crossed my mind, and I was just like thinking about him, and I was like, I don't even know why I'm thinking about him. Like, I don't want to waste my energy on that. So then I just like let that thought leave. And then later that night, I'm like driving home from the grocery store or something, and I feel my Apple Watch go off, and I look at my watch, and it was a text from him! From him! And I was like, my clairvoyant ass knew that you were gonna text me today. And that just did not even end well whatsoever, okay? nothing has changed with that person. Okay, and then another one that's like pretty cool, like pretty specific, it was right before we moved to this house. I came home from the gym one day, I was making food at the apartment, and my cousin's name is Sam, and then his last name, I'm not gonna say his last name because privacy, but just know that his name was Sam, and then last name, and he like suddenly just like crossed my mind, and I was like, oh, like I wonder how he's doing. He's a freshman in college. I was like, I wonder how he's like getting along, like playing sports and whatnot, because I had just seen him, you know, over Christmas or whatever, and I was like, huh, it was just like so strongly in my mind. I was like, that's weird that he just like came so strongly in my mind, but like whatever. And then I finished making my food. I go sit down at my computer. I open my freaking coaching inquiries. A girl named Samantha, same last name, had applied for coaching. And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, that's like all the stories that I have for now. But basically, most of the time it's just, sorry, I like a note on my phone that I'm like checking to make sure. Yeah, most of the time it's just random little shit like the Doritos or like a text or a song. But whenever things happen and someone's like, oh my God, that's so ironic. Like that's such a coincidence. Like I was just thinking about you. I'm like, not ironic, not a coincidence. I have some crazy superpower. I don't know how to harness it. I'm working on it because sometimes like I'll have very vivid dreams and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like it's gonna come true. Like I'm a very intuitive person, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. Like it just doesn't. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. A few nights ago, I had a dream that I made it in the top 25 of the Balanced Leader Search, and today I found out that I didn't, which I'm fine. It's okay. I'm still grateful for everything there. No bad vibes whatsoever, and I talked about that on my Instagram story. If you watched it on this day in my time, then you saw that. But, like, that didn't come true, right? So, sometimes it's just, that's why I try not to read into shit, because you never know if it really is gonna come true or not. But yeah, sometimes just dumb little things come true. And, oh shoot, there was one other thing I wanted to touch on. Oh, when I said I was like very intuitive, like I can tell like even through like Instagram, like across the country from people, like I can tell when something is wrong. My sister and I have always had this. We'll text each other and we know when something is wrong. And I feel like that's pretty common for people who are related. But like with the whole Balanced Leader Search thing, when I filmed my video, I was like, I have no freaking idea. Like, I was not attached to it at all. I was like, I don't know if I'll make it, but like, why not try? And then it was a couple days before they announced the top 65, and a couple of people from the Balance team had liked my Instagram photos, and I was like, oh my God, I made it. Like, I made it into the first round before they announced it. And then they announced it, and I was like cool, like I kind of knew that. And then last night, something happened. Somebody had commented on my IGTV for like the next round of Balance, and as soon as I read their comment, I was like, shit, I didn't make it. I was like, I know I didn't make it. Like, I can just tell. And like, being clairvoyant is different than being like a psychic, if anybody's confused there. So please don't ask me to predict your future, because like I said, I never know when shit's gonna come true, but when it does, I'm like, of course. So it's been really cool these last few months just tapping into that and becoming more and more open to it. And I just really wanted to share that shit because I think it's cool as fuck. And I know if you're here, you're down for the woo-woo weirdness get down. So there you have it. There's our incorrectly named mindset mukbang, but I needed to just keep a theme here. So here, I'll take a drink of water. I hope you enjoyed these clairvoyant stories. If you have these stories, please comment them below. I want to talk to more people about this because it's freaking dope. So that is today's video. We'll get back to like regular vlogs and full days of eating and stuff like that soon. I just wanted to kind of like keep my bearings while I was like still in the Balance Search to make sure that I was like putting energy into that. And yeah, so regular videos will come back ASAP. Drop requests if you have them. And yeah, I'm excited to get back into things. So as always, if you watched until now, I am taking all my good vibes. I'm sending them your way. If you could give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell before you leave, that would be dope. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.